Have you ever stopped to wonder, in the midst of life's daily chaos, whether you're truly living or merely existing? When you think about it, life is a lot like a train ride. Some people move through it slowly, peacefully, taking time to enjoy the scenery. Others rush from one carriage to another, exhausted and frantic, yet somehow still stuck at a small, forgotten station. And then, there are those who walk quietly, step by step, each stride a journey in itself. And before you know it, they've traveled further than anyone could have imagined. So what about you? Where are you on your own train ride? Sometimes, in those rare quiet moments, we tell ourselves, I want to succeed. I want to be wealthy. I want life to be easier, more meaningful. But wanting is never enough. The world out there runs on harsh rules. No one hands us success just because we desire it. And life never spares pity for those who sit idle, lost in daydreams. If you truly crave a change in your destiny, the first shift must begin within your mindset. Starting today, starting right now, there are 3 crucial pillars that allow a person to rise, to reach lasting wealth, and the fulfilling life they've always dreamed of. They are vision, wisdom, and planning. 3 unshakable foundations. Miss even one, and you'll be stuck in an exhausting loop, earning, spending, then burning out again and again, with no end in sight. You might have heard people say the world is divided between the rich and the poor, but that's not the real division. The world only separates those who think like the rich and those who still carry the mindset of the poor. And if today you realize you fall into the latter group, don't be discouraged, because mindset, unlike your background, can absolutely be changed. As long as you have the will, as long as you're ready to step out of the comfort zone that's grown all too familiar, to embrace new ideas, to learn, to train yourself, and to patiently invest in your future, like a farmer quietly sowing seeds at the start of a new season. This journey won't be paved with roses, but it will be the only road that can lead you to true freedom and wealth. And this journey is like choosing between being a water carrier or a well digger. Our story begins in a time long, long ago, in a faraway land, where 2 monks lived on neighboring mountain peaks. Once upon a time, high up on 2 lush green mountains, there lived 2 monks in their own small temples. One was named Nahu, the other, Nihu. Life on the mountains was peaceful, but filled with challenges. Chief among them, the absence of a natural water source. Every single day, rain or shine, the 2 monks had to hike all the way down to a small stream at the foot of the mountain and carry heavy buckets of water back up to their temples for daily use and meditation. The path was long, the climb steep, and the water buckets weighed heavy on their shoulders. Yet the years went by quietly, just like that. It was during these daily water trips that Nahu and Nihu began crossing paths and slowly became close friends, sharing simple stories about their lives. Life seemed to just go on like that, steadily, predictably, and neither of them ever thought to question it. But there was one small detail that only Nahu quietly paid attention to. Every day, after hauling water and completing his temple chores, instead of resting fully, Nahu would silently pick up a shovel and dig into the earth behind the temple. No one noticed, not even Nihu. No one asked, and no one praised him. The tiny patches of disturbed earth across a wide stretch of land made the effort seem pointless. But Nahu kept going, patiently, day after day. At first, the progress was painfully slow. A few shovelfuls barely made a dent. On some days, worn out from the long trek carrying water, Nahu could only manage a few weak digs before the sun went down. But he never gave up, because deep inside, he carried a steadfast belief. If he kept at it every day, the earth would eventually open up and water would rise from below. And then, one day, the unexpected happened. As usual, Nihu was heading down the mountain with his buckets. But all day, there was no sign of Nahu. At first, he assumed his friend had overslept. But then the same thing happened the next day, and the day after that. A whole week passed without any trace of Nahu at the stream. Worried, Nihu decided to climb the mountain and check in. When he arrived, he was stunned to find Nahu calmly practicing Tai Chi in front of the temple, his face serene and full of energy. There was no sign of thirst, no trace of illness. Puzzled, Nihu asked, "You haven't fetched water for a whole month. So, where are you getting your water?" Nahu simply smiled and led him to the back of the temple, where a newly dug well now stood. The water was crystal clear, refreshingly cool, and flowing freely. Standing before the well, Not Hugh gently said, "For the past 5 years, every day after fetching water and training, I've spent my spare time digging this well. In the beginning, it was just a few shovels here and there. But small efforts, day by day, add up. Today, I have a water source of my own. I no longer need to climb down the mountain to fetch water. I can now use that time to do what I love, to keep growing." Nihue stood speechless. He had never even considered such a thing. All this time, he had focused solely on hauling enough water for each day, never once thinking about building a lasting source for the future. And now, 2 clear paths stood before him. Continue the endless labor of fetching water every day, or, like Nihue, quietly dig a well that could one day set him free. That story, which may sound like a simple old folktale, actually holds a powerful lesson for every one of us today. In modern life, so many people are still hauling water. They trade each hour of labor for money, just to keep things going. But the moment they fall ill or lose strength, that water dries up. No matter how hard they work, their labor is like fetching water from a stream, just enough to quench today's thirst, without ever thinking to dig a well for tomorrow. By contrast, those who choose to dig a well are the ones who understand that true freedom requires a vision beyond what's right in front of them. They quietly invest, learn, and accumulate. They build sustainable sources of income. They refuse to let their lives depend entirely on their present labor. Creating a stream of financial flow, or better yet, building a self-sustaining asset system, is how one can dig a personal well in this lifetime. Well digging requires patience, a willingness to sacrifice short-term comfort for long-term freedom. It takes perseverance, faith in the future, and a deep conviction that, even if water hasn't appeared yet, if you keep digging, one day, it will burst forth beneath your very hands. There are people who spend their whole lives carrying water, simply because they never thought about digging a well. And there are others who, from a young age, quietly begin their first shovels of earth. And one day, when the water finally bursts from the ground, they are freer than anyone else. Are you carrying water, or silently digging your own well? That question is one each of us needs to answer, honestly, at least once in our lives. But to answer it properly, we first need to understand, what does it mean to carry water? And what does it mean to dig a well? In other words, we need to grasp the 2 fundamental ways people generate income in life: income from labor and income from assets. And this story of 2 income streams will take us one step deeper on the journey to transforming our lives. When we reflect on the story of Nihue and Nihue, it becomes clear that in real life, most of us are in Nihue's position. We trade our effort each day for an immediate result: water to drink today, a paycheck at the end of the month. We work tirelessly, selling our time, health, and youth, hoping to maintain a comfortable life. But few of us ever stop to ask, what if one day I can no longer work? What if I get sick? What if I'm exhausted? What if I grow old? What will happen to the water supply of my life? To escape that endless cycle, we must first understand one thing clearly. In life, there are 2 basic types of income. One is earned income. The other is asset-based income. Earned income is the kind you create directly through your time, effort, and daily work. You go to a job, you get paid. You work overtime, you earn more. You sell a product or offer a service, you exchange labor for money. The more you work, the more you earn. But the moment you stop, so does the income. It's like carrying water from the stream every single day. No matter how tired or how difficult it gets, you can't stop, because if you do, your life comes to a halt. Asset-based income, on the other hand, is entirely different. It's the kind of income that flows from the assets you own, the systems you've built, the automatic streams you've patiently developed. It could be rental income from property, dividends from stocks, profits from a business, or royalties from books or creative works. This income doesn't require you to work every day to receive it. Once the assets are in place and generating returns, that income keeps flowing. While you sleep, while you rest, even when you no longer have the strength to work like before. Once you understand this difference, you'll begin to see why some people seem to grow more relaxed and prosperous as they age, while others have to work harder and struggle more with every passing year. Life is like an hourglass. Each day, a grain of sand. Your time, your health, your energy falls away. In your 20s, you can work with passion and youthful vigor. But by 40, 50, 60, will your shoulders still be strong enough to carry on? By then, if you haven't dug a well of your own, you'll be forced to keep hauling water or face the thirst. Earned income inevitably declines over time. That's a certainty. No one can work endlessly without fatigue. Health will fade, energy will dwindle, and unexpected events, illness, accidents, midlife crises, can knock anyone down at the moment they least expect it. In contrast, asset-based income tends to grow over time. A rental property increases in value as the years go by. A wise investment continues to yield returns. A meaningful book generates royalties across generations. If you take good care of your assets, they'll become a small stream. Then one day, that stream will flow into a vast ocean, bringing you true freedom. Freedom of time, financial freedom, and the freedom to live the life you truly want. Do you remember the famous saying, "The best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago. The second best time is now"? That's not just a reminder of the importance of starting, it's a wake-up call. If you don't plant your tree today, then 10 years from now, you'll be watching others reap a harvest you never even sowed. It's the same with digging a well. If you spend all your time today just carrying water and never think to start digging, then 10 years down the line, when your strength is gone, you'll know the true cost of delay. There's a harsh truth that few people are willing to admit. The modern world is becoming more unforgiving. Those who rely solely on labor to survive will be increasingly squeezed by rising living costs, by the fierce competition of technology and automation, by the relentless pressure of a rapidly changing world. Meanwhile, those with foresight, who start building assets early, will grow more relaxed, more independent, and more secure with every shift in the tide. Think of it like this. Labor income is like eating a meal each day. You have to cook each meal, eat each meal. But asset income is like planting a rice field. When harvest season comes, the golden rice is ready, and you collect it. Even if the weather is rough that year, you'll still have food. Even if you don't plow every day, the rice will ripen in its season. So the important question isn't, how much money am I making each month? The real question is, how much of my income comes from assets, not from daily labor? That's the true measure of someone's financial sustainability. But how do you shift from being someone who lives off labor to someone who owns assets? How do you go from water carrier to well digger? The first and most important answer is vision. Not everyone finds it easy to see the future while they're caught up in the demands of the present. Not everyone is willing to plant seeds today for a harvest they'll only reap years later. That's why the biggest difference between successful and unsuccessful people isn't background. It is an opportunity. It's vision. Vision is what lets you see the future before it arrives. It's what helps you keep planting even when there's no fruit in sight. It's what drives you to keep digging, even as others laugh and mock you for working so hard when there's still no sign of water. Someone with true vision understands that labor income is just the starting point. They use their labor to save, to invest, to build assets. They don't waste what they earn today. They quietly lay the foundation for tomorrow. They don't choose the easy path now. They choose the harder one, the one that demands more, but offers something far more lasting and brilliant in the long run. On the other hand, someone without vision is fixated on short-term gain. They chase after the highest-paying job right now, without considering whether it helps them grow. They spend everything they make each month, with no thought of saving or investing. They sell their labor day after day, month after month, year after year, until one day they realize they've run dry, and it's too late to start over. You see, understanding the difference between types of income is important. But even more important is how you choose to live based on that understanding. And that choice begins with your vision. In the end, vision is what determines a person's destiny. If you look only at what's near, all you'll see is the small gain right in front of you. But if you look further, you'll see an entire golden field waiting for harvest. If you only keep your eyes on your feet, you'll forever wander in narrow, winding paths. But if you lift your gaze, you'll see vast horizons calling your name. That's why, to truly begin the journey toward financial freedom, to truly transform from a water carrier into the owner of your life's well, the first thing you need isn't to make a lot of money right away. It's to expand your vision. Because vision shapes destiny, and destiny shapes achievement. So how do you expand your vision? How do you break through old limitations and reach for wider horizons? We'll explore that in the next part of this journey. A person's life is like a game of chess. Some can only see the next move. They stumble from one short-term position to another, stuck in the traps they've set for themselves. Others can see 3 moves ahead, 5 moves, 10. Each step is part of a strategy leading them to victory, even in a game that once seemed unwinnable. Vision, in the end, is what separates ordinary people from successful ones. Not background, not luck, not natural talent, just vision. You might have a stable job today, a salary that's enough to cover your expenses. But if your vision stops there, you'll live forever inside a closed loop. Work, spend, wait for payday, repeat. You'll watch yourself grow older in that same cycle, and one day, realize you've missed out on a much bigger life beyond it. On the other hand, if your vision stretches further, you'll begin to see other paths. You'll realize that today's stability doesn't guarantee tomorrow's freedom. You'll understand that it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart, with a strategy. Not just surviving, but intentionally building a future. Vision isn't just the ability to imagine a better future. It's the ability to understand how the world works, to anticipate trends, to spot opportunities even when they're still hidden and rough around the edges, and the courage to act when others still hesitate. There's a simple but powerful story about a poor farmer in a remote village. One day, he stumbled upon a rare seed. A neighbor advised him to cook the seed and eat it. It would fill his stomach for the day. But the poor farmer refused. Instead, he carefully planted it in the only piece of land he had. Day after day, while others mocked him for wasting a good meal, he quietly watered it, tended it, nurtured it. 1 year passed, then 2, then 3, until the plant grew into a thriving forest. From a single seed, he now owned a flourishing woodland, trees towering, birds nesting, life thriving. The barren land had turned into a fertile garden, bringing abundance not just to him, but to generations after him. What did that farmer have that others didn't? Not much. He wasn't richer. He wasn't smarter. He wasn't stronger. He simply had greater vision. You see, in life, opportunities are always around us. But they only open up to those with eyes that can see beyond the surface, with hearts patient enough to wait, and hands steady enough to keep sowing. This world doesn't lack people lucky enough to come across opportunity, but it has far too few people with the vision to recognize it, when it's still small, still rough, still hidden beneath the hard shell of difficulty. Some spend their entire lives sitting under a tree, waiting for ripe fruit to fall into their lap. Others, when they see a barren field, begin, quietly and steadily, to plant seeds. We often think of luck as a random gift from fate, but in truth, most of what we call luck is the result of long-term vision combined with tireless preparation. The broader your vision, the wider the doors of opportunity will open. The deeper your vision, the more lasting your success will be. The higher your vision, the more your destiny is elevated to a whole new level. In the classic book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill told the stories of extraordinary people he studied. Every one of them, without exception, was someone with a vision far greater than the average person. While the world was still asleep, they were already awake. When others were still full of doubt, they were already taking action. While the majority chased after short-term pleasures, they quietly built long-lasting empires. So how do you develop that far-reaching vision? First, you must break free from the loop of your current mindset. You need to lift your head to see beyond what's right in front of you. You need to ask yourself bigger questions. What do I want my life to look like in 5 years? 10 years? What legacy do I want to leave for the next generation? When I look back at my life, what will make me most proud? Next, you need to expose yourself to broader sources of knowledge. Read books, learn from successful people, travel, explore new cultures, step into challenging environments. Vision cannot grow if you're always circling the same small, familiar world. Finally, you need the courage to act on what you see. Because vision isn't just for dreaming, it's for guiding action. There's a great proverb: the person on the 72nd floor sees the world very differently than the one on the second. Change your perspective, and your actions will change. Change your actions, and your life will follow. But vision doesn't arise on its own. It demands a strong inner foundation, wisdom. If vision is the eyes that look outward, Wisdom is the internal strength that helps you keep moving forward on the path you've chosen. You may see the road ahead, but without wisdom, you won't have the strength to walk it. You may recognize an opportunity, but without wisdom, you won't know how to seize it and turn it into success. Vision points the way. Wisdom determines how far you'll go on that path. It's like a mountain climber. The one with far-reaching vision can see the distant summit and knows where to head. But to actually reach the top, he needs strength, skill, experience. That's wisdom. Vision isn't just about what you want in life. It's about how you see the world. It's the lens you use when facing any situation. Some people, when faced with hardship, see only the wall in front of them. They back away, complain, and blame fate. But others, when they see that wall, recognize an opportunity to build resilience, to find a new route, or to learn how to build a ladder and climb over it. What you choose to see in adversity, that's what determines your future. There's a famous fable about frogs that fell into a dry well. The strong ones tried and failed to jump out. Eventually, they gave up and waited for the end. But one small, weak frog kept trying, and eventually, it made it out. When people asked how the little frog did what the others couldn't, they discovered something surprising. The frog was deaf. It didn't hear the complaints. It didn't hear the calls to give up. In its mind, there was only one image, the light above, and the determination to reach it. That's what vision truly is. It's not what you hear from others. It's not the limits others impose on you. It's what you choose to believe in, to act on, to reach for. If you look at life through the narrow slit of temporary failure, the world will seem small and dark. But if you stretch your gaze a little further, you'll begin to see doors of opportunity opening, one after another, even after every stumble. In the beloved animated film Rio, there's a blue parrot named Blue. Captured as a baby, he grows up safely behind glass, cared for by humans. Blue is smart. He understands human speech, but he doesn't know how to fly. Only when forced into a life or death situation, when he has no choice but to reconnect with his instincts, does Blue remember that he belongs to the vast, open sky, that he was born to soar. We are often just like Blue. Sometimes, it's the false safety of our current comfort zone that dulls our long-range vision. We forget that we weren't born to run in circles inside small loops. We were meant to explore the world, to rise higher, to push past the limits we've placed on ourselves. A person with true vision is someone who dares to ask the big questions. How can I live a more radiant life? What valuable contribution can I make to the world? And if I stopped limiting myself, what might I actually become? They don't let their current circumstances bind their thinking. They understand that situations are temporary. It's vision that determines the final destination. Think back to the story of the three young men in the town of Red Apples. The first only saw short-term profit. Buy apples, sell apples, make money one trip at a time. The second looked a bit further. He bought saplings and planted his own small orchard. But the third had the furthest vision. He took soil samples, studied the land, and transformed the entire region into a fertile apple-growing zone. 10 years later, when apples had become a local specialty and were being exported, only the third man became a millionaire because he didn't just look at the apples. He saw the land. You see, the same opportunity, seen through different lenses, produces vastly different outcomes. Vision doesn't just decide what you do today. It determines how you respond to setbacks. Those with vision don't panic when faced with obstacles. They know every challenge is part of a larger journey. They understand that failure isn't the end of the story. It's just a chapter in the book of life. Thomas Edison failed over 10,000 times before inventing the electric light bulb. Without vision, could he have endured that many failed experiments? Vision doesn't just help you start. It helps you not give up halfway through. And to have such unwavering vision, you can't rely on emotion alone. You need wisdom, that inner strength that helps you understand how the world works, that lets you read subtle signals, that allows you to make the right choices even when everything around you feels chaotic. To expand your vision, you can't just sit there and imagine. You have to read more to nourish your mind, experience more to understand the real world. Surround yourself with people smarter than you, so your thinking is lifted. Travel further to see how vast the world truly is, and fail more often to develop resilience and strength. Vision is not a gift. It is the reward of a journey, of actively seeking, learning, and choosing to change. Ask yourself, if I keep seeing the world the way I do today, will I be proud of who I become 5 or 10 years from now? If the answer is no, then don't wait. Start today. Steer your mental ship toward a broader horizon. Vision is what allows you to dream big dreams. But to turn those dreams into reality, you'll need something even more powerful: wisdom. Wisdom isn't something you're born with. It must be forged day by day, hour by hour. It's not a degree. It's not just how much information you know. True wisdom is the ability to grasp the essence of things, the ability to analyze with depth, the ability to see what others don't. A person with vision but without wisdom is like someone standing atop a mountain with no idea how to climb down. Sooner or later, they'll end up lost or trapped. So how can you gradually strengthen your wisdom each day? You don't need to do anything grand. Just start with the simplest habits. In the next section, we'll explore 5 incredibly easy, yet deeply effective methods for cultivating and sharpening your wisdom, the unshakable foundation of all long-term success. Let's take the next step together on this journey to unlocking the extraordinary power within you. If vision is the light guiding your life's path, then wisdom is the strong, steady feet that help you walk it with confidence. A person may dream of great things, but without wisdom, those dreams remain distant illusions, never becoming reality. So what exactly is wisdom? Wisdom isn't simply the amount of information you know. It's not your GPA. It's not the certificates framed on your wall. Wisdom is the ability to understand the essence of things, to analyze problems from multiple angles, to stay mentally clear in the midst of chaos, to see the big picture and connect the dots that others view as scattered fragments. Someone with true wisdom can spot opportunity in adversity. They can stay calm when the world around them panics. They can discern what's right amidst the noise of society. And the best part? Wisdom isn't some gift reserved for a chosen few. It's something anyone can cultivate and grow, if they know how. You don't need to overhaul your entire life to become wiser. Sometimes, the smallest steps and simplest habits create the biggest transformation. Start first by reducing your consumption of junk information. In today's world, we are bombarded by thousands of pieces of content, news snippets, images, videos, endless scrolling on social media. Most of it adds little to no real value. It drains your mental energy, scatters your attention, and slows down your ability to think deeply. When you constantly feed your brain with shallow, short-term content, you're training it to become restless, impatient, and unfocused. Instead of spending hours mindlessly browsing, become intentional about what you consume. Set clear limits. Designate just a small portion of your day for news updates, and spend the rest diving into deep reading, learning specialized knowledge, or studying a meaningful subject in depth. Reading books is one of the simplest, but most powerful, ways to develop wisdom. When you read a book, you're not just absorbing information. You're training your focus. You're refining your reasoning. You're building the mental muscles to connect complex ideas. Each valuable book is like a deep conversation with one of the greatest minds in history. Stick with the hard books, the ones that stretch your thinking. Don't shy away when they feel confusing or challenging at first. That is exactly what sharpens your ability to think deeply. Alongside gaining knowledge, physical training is also essential to strengthening wisdom. Here's a truth most people overlook. The mind and body are deeply connected. A healthy body, a strong circulatory system, a well-functioning heart. These provide your brain with the oxygen and nutrients it needs to operate at its best. Just 20 to 30 minutes of daily walking, jogging, or light exercise can make a real difference. Your mind becomes clearer. Your focus improves. Your mood lifts. Exercise isn't just about caring for your body. It's one of the most practical ways you can care for your mind. Another essential element in developing wisdom is learning to spend time in silence and reflection. We live in a world that is far too noisy. At any moment, wherever we are, we're surrounded by sound, images, and information flooding our space. But it is in silence that wisdom is truly born. Learn to turn off your phone, step away from social media, and carve out quiet moments for yourself each day. Sit down, breathe deeply, listen to your own thoughts. Ask yourself the deep questions. What am I living for? What goal am I striving toward? What do I truly desire from this life? It's in these moments of self-questioning that you begin to uncover what once seemed vague. The values you truly want to pursue, the illusions you need to let go of, the new paths that were invisible until now. Ultimately, wisdom cannot mature without real-world experience. Reading teaches you what, but only experience teaches you why and how. You could read hundreds of books on personal finance, but until you create your own budget, spend your own money, invest, fail, and learn, you won't truly understand what financial freedom means. You could read thousands of books on business, but only when you do the work, face real risks, deal with actual customers, will you internalize the lessons of the marketplace. Don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to get it wrong. Every failure, every mistake, every setback is a vivid, unforgettable lesson, etched deeper into your memory than any page in a book. So step forward. Take action. Let life itself become your teacher. As you can see, growing in wisdom is not some distant, mystical goal. You just need to be consistent in making small changes each day. Read more deeply. Move your body more regularly. Reflect more often. Experience more boldly. These small habits, accumulated over time, will bring about a powerful transformation. And as your wisdom grows clearer, your vision will stretch further. You'll naturally develop the capacity to build greater, more grounded plans for your life. Because in the end, wisdom helps you see the path, but without a plan, without clear steps to act on, even the most inspiring vision will remain nothing more than a dream floating in the clouds. Once you've cultivated a strong vision and solid wisdom, the next thing you need is to build a truly practical, well-grounded life and work plan. In the next part of this journey, we'll explore how to create a concrete, effective plan using 5 fundamental steps. A simple, powerful framework to help you move toward your goals steadily and without losing your way. Let's continue walking together on the path to building the life you truly desire. Vision shows you the open sky. Wisdom gives you the wings to fly. But without a plan, your dreams will remain no more than drifting clouds. A plan is the bridge between vision and reality. It's the step-by-step path that brings you closer to your dream. Without it, you'll get lost in the busyness of daily tasks, pulled by the randomness of life. And one day, you'll look back and wonder where your direction went. Here's a simple truth. Successful people don't succeed because they do more than others. They succeed because they know exactly what to do, when to do it, and why they're doing it. So how do you build a life and work plan that's truly solid? No fancy tools needed. Just commit to these 5 simple steps. Daily, monthly, yearly, and slowly, you'll begin to turn your dreams into reality. Let's begin with the very first step. Step 1. Understand yourself deeply. You can't plan your life if you don't know what you truly want. Many people spend their lives chasing someone else's goals, striving to make more money, gain a higher status, buy a bigger house or a fancier car, only to realize, once they arrive, that it was never what they truly wanted. Take time to have a real conversation with yourself. Ask the big questions. What do I deeply desire? What kind of life do I want to live? What core values guide me? What does success truly mean to me? Don't be afraid if you don't have all the answers right away. Be patient. Observe your emotions through different experiences. Write down the things that genuinely excite you. Pay attention to the moments when you feel most like yourself. From those small fragments, the picture of your true dream life will slowly begin to take shape. Once you understand yourself clearly, the next step is this. Define specific goals. A vague dream won't take you far. You need to turn that dream into clear, measurable, time-bound goals. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, say, I want to earn 50 million VND in passive income per month within 5 years. Instead of saying, I want to be healthier, say, I'll run 5 kilometers 3 times a week, starting this month. Specific goals are like lighthouses guiding you through the dark. When your goal is clear, every daily action gains meaning. It all points you toward a destination. And remember, goals should be challenging but achievable. If a goal is too easy, it won't push you to grow. But if it's too unrealistic, it'll discourage you before you even get started. Once your goals are clearly defined, the next step is to break them down into actionable steps. No one builds a castle in a single day, but you can lay bricks, one wall, one room, day by day. Break your big goals into smaller, manageable tasks. What you can do today, this week, this month, this quarter. For example, if your goal is to write a book in 1 year, commit to writing 500 words each day. If your goal is to save 100 million VND in 1 year, create a plan to save 8 to 9 million VND each month. Each small action you complete builds positive momentum, helping you move toward your bigger goal without feeling overwhelmed. Next comes a crucial step. Track your progress and adjust regularly. Even the best plan needs to be refined as it unfolds. Life is constantly changing. Unexpected events will happen. New opportunities or sudden challenges may shift your path. Set regular checkpoints, weekly, monthly, quarterly, to review your progress. What have I accomplished? What's still pending, and why? What adjustments can I make to move more efficiently toward my goal? Write it down. Measure it. Don't let yourself drift off course without realizing it. A skilled sailor doesn't succeed because the sea is always calm. He succeeds because he constantly adjusts his course, always keeping his compass in sight. And finally, the step that keeps everything alive. Celebrate small milestones and sustain long-term motivation. The road to a big goal is long and filled with trials. If you wait until the very end to allow yourself to feel joy, you'll likely burn out or lose motivation halfway through. Learn to celebrate the small wins, each completed phase, each tiny progress step. It could be a nice meal as a reward, a short getaway, or simply a moment of self-acknowledgement. Each celebration is a spark of energy added to your journey. You're planting seeds of positivity, turning persistence and discipline into second nature. When you deeply understand yourself, set clear goals, break them down into action steps, track your progress, and celebrate along the way, you're building an automated system that propels you toward success. You no longer have to rely on fleeting inspiration or fragile willpower. You now have a clear map, a steady compass, a journey where every step carries meaning. My dear friend, by now, you've equipped yourself with the 3 most essential pillars for transforming your destiny. A far-reaching vision to guide you, a sharp and steady wisdom to make choices and take action, and a practical, strategic plan to turn your dreams into reality. If you patiently nurture these 3 elements, day by day, month by month, year by year, you will build a life that is not only successful, but free, meaningful, and deeply fulfilling. Now, in the final part of today's journey, let's take a moment to reflect and solidify everything we've uncovered. A final reminder of the 3 pillars that form the foundation of a great life: vision, wisdom, and planning. Let's step together into this final chapter, where all the bright points along this path merge into a clear roadmap for your future. How do you want to live your life? Do you want each day to feel like a dull repeat, recycling the same meaningless actions just to survive? Or do you want your life to become an extraordinary journey, where every moment has purpose and every step brings you closer to the deepest dream in your heart? You can choose to be the water carrier, forever struggling, trading hours of labor for mere drops of survival. Or you can choose to be the well digger, the one who quietly builds a stream of freedom, a lasting source of wealth, flowing endlessly despite time and challenge. The choice is always in your hands. And as we've discovered, that journey begins with 3 core foundations: vision, wisdom, plan. Vision is the light that guides your way. It's the compass that helps you choose the right direction. Without vision, you'll stay trapped in short-term thinking, drifting in confusion and meaninglessness. But with a vision that's bold and wide, you'll find true purpose in every effort, in every task you take on. Wisdom is the flame that lights the path you choose. Wisdom helps you distinguish what truly matters from what is mere illusion. Wisdom helps you recognize real opportunity from sweet-looking traps. Wisdom keeps you grounded through emotional storms and protects you from careless missteps. Planning is the strong set of legs that carry you on the long journey ahead. It's what turns your big dreams into daily, concrete action. A good plan keeps you from losing your way when challenges arise. It keeps you going when fatigue sets in. Each small step today becomes the miracle of tomorrow. Always remember this. Every dollar you earn, every achievement you reach, every opportunity you capture, it's not luck. It's not fate. It's the reflection of your vision, your wisdom, and your plan, built slowly, deliberately, step by step. So ask yourself right now, if I keep living exactly as I am today, where will I be in 5 years? In 10 years, Who will I have become? If your answer doesn't excite you, if it doesn't make your heart race with anticipation, then now is the time to change. Don't let yourself sit there years from now, filled with regret, asking, if only I had known this back then, how different my life could have been. Don't let the most precious years of your life pass in quiet frustration. Start planting the seeds today. Build your vision today. Nourish your wisdom every day. Create a solid plan and take action without pause. Because one day, when you look back, you'll smile with pride and say, I lived fully. I honored this life. I gave it everything I had. If what we've shared today has sparked something in you, if it's stirred those quiet dreams in your heart, then please don't hesitate to share this video with the people you love. Because when you share light with others, you illuminate your own path even more. Because when you help someone awaken their vision, sharpen their wisdom, and build a plan for their life, you're not just changing one person, you're helping to change the world. And if you want to keep walking this journey of personal growth together, don't forget to hit subscribe so you won't miss any of the powerful content that's coming next. Each new video, each future insight will be a key piece, helping you step by step to build the greatest version of yourself. Thank you for listening with your whole heart. Thank you for trusting and joining me on this journey. I'll see you again in the next adventure, where bigger visions, sharper wisdom, and even greater plans are waiting for us.